smooth. It's recording. I in progress.
In progress. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How it is. How's it going? This is the mental breakthrough number 50. Big, uh, big number to reach. 100 will be a big number. And then I might start doing some real stuff because then people will take me seriously because then they'll see, oh, wow, he's already had this many podcasts. And then I can maybe start doing real stuff, maybe a little more structure. I don't know, but I love these. I'm going through them. I'm putting out little clips of things because within a conversation, there are always some little diamonds in the rough that I can clip and just post those, and those can take off sometimes. But that takes a lot of time too. So, a lot of things. A lot of things.
Other things, CD.
A lot of things going on. There's lots. Yeah, there's lots of things to discuss. You're always good at asking questions to bring them out.
So speaking of structure, how about if we try to stay on one topic today? I know somehow you bring it back to your farm, but that's okay.
Well, let's make that the topic then.
We talked about your farm before.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Well, can I propose one? And if you
Go
like
ahead,
it, we
propose.
go with
Let's
it.
just
If
go.
you don't, we can switch.
Just propose it. No. I don't want to. I'll take it. I'll take it. Whatever it is, I'll take it. And
Okay. Well, you know what it is. It's two letters, starts with an A, and the second one is I.
Yeah, your favorite. Okay, but let's. I mean, it's a big topic, a big area of discussion. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of things to be discussed, and there's a lot of knowns, and there's a lot of unknowns, and we should discuss it. But let's try to find out. Do you have a something unique, a unique perspective to what's
Well,
how can we
let me say this about that. First of all, you see, let me see. I was going to turn off my camera if you don't mind. Let's see.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stop video, or how do I do? Let's see. I see
there should be a button, a icon that is video.
I see a camera icon. Is that it?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's
Well, you flip it. Yeah, you
that
flip it
shows
like
my living dining
wow,
room.
look at you. That looks like a pretty high so.
It is a high so. What are you
you got.
talking about? I am high so.
Okay.
You want to see? I mean, you never see my place.
Pretty nice. I feel like I might have seen this. This looks familiar. You might have shown, but this.
No, this one's a little bit different.
Okay.
I got a 7-Eleven right here.
Well, obviously you're in Thailand. That's.
And then I actually got an ocean view. You can see the ocean. Well, you can't see it now, but at daytime you can see the ocean. You can see those. Okay. You see those green things? See those green things out there in the ocean? Those are squid boats.
Okay.
Right out there.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You're close.
Yeah, those are squid.
That's You're in Chonburi or what?
Jomtien. Oh, we even got some lightning. But it's not going to rain. It's just one. There it is. You see it?
Yeah, we got rain. It's rainy season up here, baby. I love it.
Oh, it's been really dry here. It's been uber dry.
It's wonderful. I don't have to water the land. I can pull the weeds so easily because my weeds just take over my walkways. Oh shit, it's already done. I'm already on my farm. I love the rain, man. It's just there's a lot of things I can do. Actually, every season is different, and there's a lot of things I can't do in the rain, but there's a lot of things that I get done during the rainy season that I can only get done. I can pull the weed. It's so nice. It sucks pulling weeds, but when it's rainy or right after a rain, it's just like they just come out so easy. I'm just like boop 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 boop. I move so much more quickly. It's not even worth pulling weeds if it hasn't rained.
Yeah, well, CD, let me try this. There is an icon that says stop video. I wonder if that's it.
Yeah, I think that sounds.
Let me try it. Let me try that stop video.
There it
is. That probably did it. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, good. So let's see. We were talking about me, yes?
Yes.
Or about your farm?
You. Talking about. Meanwhile, back at the farm.
Meanwhile, back in the farm. There you go.
So we.
Okay. So as far as AI goes, as you know, I've been really, really excited about AI. In fact, it's got my attention to the point where I'm not going to say I'm obsessed with it. Well, no, I'm not obsessed really because I'm still learning about other things and doing my cooking and exercising and doing my routine, and I get distracted because I go down these rabbit holes with it, um, and I end up learning about you know elements and compounds when I should be. But anyway, uh, I do need to not. I want to get more focused on AI, and I'll tell you why. And that is because the rapid change that is coming, it's coming at a rate that we're going to have artificial general intelligence a lot sooner than most people think, and also super AGI.
Well,
And
let's.
it's going to happen a lot sooner than most people think
I
because I've
mean,
been reading up on it.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, but yeah, really, what does that mean? Sooner or later, it's gonna come. If it
No, it's
comes
going to be a
sooner than
shock.
later, really, what does it mean? That's what does that mean
What
for
it means
humanity? That's
is
what.
what it means is it's going to be a shock. It's going to be the shock is the economic shock, really.
Okay.
The shock that all of a sudden people. Well, actually, it's already happening with a lot of these companies. It starts with the companies; they're the ones that are going to start using it, and are using it, and have spent billions on using it. And they're just going to start, um, streamlining their business, using robotics, using all kinds
Well,
of
robotics
agents.
are already a large. That's already taken over. Like robotics, as in like manufacturing. Like I'd say a lot of technology is created by robotics. Uh, you
It
know.
is, except these robots are ambulatory. They're fixed, and they're
Okay.
only programmed to do one thing. So yes, most of manufacturing is roboticized, but it's not. These are robots that basically walk and think, and they have the same body as humans, and but they can also do whatever these fixed robots do. It's a magnitude greater ability that these robots bring than that currently exist, and also they can do things that um, haven't been programmed to be. A lot of this manufacturing is just fixed programming. That's all they do. They can't like do something different unless they're reprogrammed. Whereas these robots, you just tell it, okay, now stop doing this, now go do this.
Okay.
And so they're much more flexible. Um, so that's just one example, really, of robots taking over. But it's just one example. Let's look at your field. In fact, we could focus on that. In fact, that would be interesting if you want to just stick with one area like education, and how AI is going to transform education. If you want to go there, or even
Yeah.
language learning, or
Well,
even
well,
language learning.
and both. Well, okay. Well, yeah. There's a lot of topics because I was actually I just had I'm kind of back on the podcast. I just did one yesterday with my uh JJ. He's only had that was only his third. I forget. I think this is our 8th or 9th or 10th or 11th. You're definitely the number one guest here. But he's also an online teacher. So that's one thing. And we were kind of talking about it. Online teaching is yeah, pretty. There's already actually. I've talked to some of my students that came here, and they do. It's not good yet, but it's already. They already have straight 100% AI learning platforms, and I don't think it'll take that long. Maybe a couple years to do that. But then there is the brick and mortar school, and that can kind of regain a new popularity. I think actually it could transform education in a way that it always should have been, because we're living. We're our school, that the school where you go to, set up in rows. They're basically training
Monkeys.
students to work in like an industry. So we need to change that. So, and I think, I mean, either humans are going to be obsolete. That's like this dystopian nightmare that's AI could have you look at, or we only have one other thing, and that is our social interaction. That everything should be based on social interaction, and that, so then that is going to change schooling. It's going to be more about creating things, finding purpose in life. Obviously, there's going to be um some some areas that pop up that maybe we're not thinking of. Of course, eventually robots can do maintenance of robots that maintenance robots, but it seems like there should be some sort of uh involvement in training AI or making sure, so there are, I mean, there are still going to be jobs and purpose, but in a way, I would say I visualize classroom of the future. So basically, yeah, online learning probably is going to be taken over by AI, but it's also, I think, in a lot of ways, it will, or just online learning could cut off, and there should be more in in class hands on, but that'll get revolutionized too. I mean, you'll be in like a holographic lab, so you can do some maybe science experiments that would normally require very expensive equipment, and you could do it like,
I was listening to this guy. Um, he wants to go beyond what ChatGPT can do right now. And the question that was posed to him was, well, when you have ChatGPT, it just sits there waiting for you to ask it a question or
okay, yeah,
talk to
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Why can't it be like something that actually asks you questions or talks to you, or like a human, if you will,
well,
not
that
just
sounds
something.
like AGI or something. I mean,
Yes,
that would
yes,
that's
yes,
what would require AGI.
yes,
I mean, is that
yes, yes.
is that a
Yes, that would be AGI. That's what he's working on. He's working on AGI. He's got multiple companies working on different aspects of AGI. It's not just one thing.
yeah,
This large language models, which is what OpenAI ChatGPT is just one part, one component, an important one, and one that is obviously the one that's really caught on and everybody loves. But it's
mhm,
just one component of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, but I tell you, getting back to education,
Mhm.
I think the thing that um, children will have to become accustomed to or learn from a very young age is to learn how to learn and to become curious, because that's kind of how I use ChatGPT now. I
Yeah.
use it as more a way of um, just asking questions and being curious, and using it the way I learn, because I learned differently than perhaps many people. I need to go back. Like, I want to learn about AI, so I'm asking it, take me back to the very first instance of AI,
Mhm.
and then bring me back, and then bring me forward, a decade, and then when you get to the 1940s, then I want you to go by year, because that's how I learn. I
Yeah.
learn historically. It's got
Mhm.
to, you can't just bring me to the AI where AI is today, or whether it's databases or it's chemistry or physics or any subject. If they try to teach me the knowledge we have today, it's, for me, it's overwhelming and I can't learn it. But if you take me back to the very beginning and how everything was stacked on top of it and how it evolved
Mhm.
and the different contributors, that's how I learned. So I think one thing that children will be would help them, and maybe perhaps that's what's going to have to happen, is they have to become self-learners, and then they have to learn how to learn, and then to use the technology. Um, so yeah, that's how I see.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do need to be an environment with other students too, because really, we're social species. We
Yeah.
can't, like, have a TV in front of us or a screen in front of us and learn from just these amazing super AGIs without interacting with other humans.
Yeah. I mean, that's in some ways that it could help us. I mean, it could hurt or help us, but if that's our goal, I would say that the education system has failed on a lot of aspects. That's the only value in a lot of ways, is that there is a social opportunity, but at the same time, there's also this institutionalizing that's not positive about schooling. Like it's great to get kids together. I'm looking forward to get Gabagada, uh, more involved in social activities, and that's important. But it would be nice to not have it in a classroom that's so formalized, more play, and um, and as to what you're saying about learning, that's true. That's always has been true. I'm hoping that AI actually can kind of uh, help people realize that they are master of their own learning, and they do learn in different ways. But I do the same thing because I do have one audio version of ChatGPT that uses ChatGPT, but it's audio. It's a separate app in my phone. It was a one-time thing I was able to buy where I don't have to pay a monthly subscription to it, and I can have a conversation. So I actually have conversations. Sometimes it thinks I'm finished and it'll start talking, and I get pissed off. I'm like, that's not what I said. I didn't. And they're like, I think you're talking about this because it cut me off. But so I mean that it's not a perfect dialogue conversation, but I'm actually able to like drive and have a conversation with it and ask, oh wow, that was interesting what you said. Like it'll say something about like, and some of it is spawned from Gabba. He'll ask about like he was asking because he has the planet Earth on his shirt, and it shows like the crust and the mantle. He's asking about it, and then asking if we can dig to the mantle or something. I'm saying, well, actually, I don't think we've ever even dug that far, but we've dug really far. I know the Russians did like something really deep, but I didn't know, so I just started asking about it, and then it started giving me all these different things that have been dug, some diamond mines and salt mines and things that have been dug really deep, and then some people just were trying to dig, see how far they could dig, and it would keep popping up with questions. Oh wow, that was interesting. Well, how wide was that? And then it'll answer back. So it's like I keep getting information as we're discussing, and uh, it's just so much more convenient. It's funny to look at how like I hate going to Google to find information. Like every once in a while, there's a certain thing I have to go to. It's so hard to. It's so much easier to get the information you want from
Why do you have to
AI.
go? Why do you have to go to Google for information? I don't understand.
Um, no, I mean that was just how it was always done, and
Oh, in the past, in the
in the
past.
past. But at that time, we talked about it as wow. I mean, I remember using encyclopedias. You know, I am from the era before the internet, so it's like I remember doing reports on going to the library, getting encyclopedias, getting books, magazines or whatever to get information and look at it. And then when the internet came out, and even my research, actually getting journals and stuff, and then there's database online. I'd still need to use like Google Scholar to do research just to get access to the. I mean, I guess you could ask, hey, okay, look. I mean, it could help me locate some uh, articles maybe, but
I
it's
think it has. I think it
I,
probably has. In fact, I asked it. I
I'm
said,
sure it
"Why
could,
is
yeah,
your tone? Why is your tone the way it is? Why isn't it conversational, or why isn't it slang, or why is it so formal and so scientific?" And it came back and said that it's because a lot of the information, the text it has read, has been scientific journals and scientific publications,
yeah,
because those tend to be the more accurate. Because when they first designed, this is what I've learned recently, when they first designed, they trained, excuse me, when they first trained these large language models, they wanted to make sure that the information that they were feeding it was for the most part accurate. They didn't want to
yeah,
just go out there and get any information, because there's a lot of garbage and misinformation and wrong information out there. So they focused more on what they believed to be more accurate initially, which would be these peer-reviewed scientific journals.
yeah,
And then from there, they branched out into other things.
yeah, absolutely.
But you can still tell it to talk to you in slang, and it will, or like
Oh
Snoop
yeah,
Dogg, like you said.
TikTok, that's fun. That's fun. It's, I mean, yeah, I mean, but yeah, so I mean, it's changed. Yeah, the way, I mean, that is how that's just how we search for information.
Well,
And so,
the I guess the ChatGPT document I sent you, whatever I asked it, and did you read it, or you didn't have
yeah,
time?
I did you asked what TMB50 was?
Yeah,
That
what's
one?
that?
Or you're talking about the data model, the one or the one
The
before that?
relational database,
Yeah,
the
database.
synergy between relation databases and large language models like OpenAI.
Yeah, I skimmed it. I mean, and I listened to your audio too. I mean, that's your expertise, so it's not.
Well, the
Uh,
point
it's
I
not.
wanted to make
Yeah,
was that it doesn't matter what field somebody's in, whether it's in business like marketing or finance or accounting or whatever, or they're in some scientific field, physics or whatever, chemistry, or are they in child development, or are they in zoology, or whatever. What it doesn't matter what field they're in. they are using AI, and if they're not, they're going to be left behind.
Oh yeah.
So
There already are.
everybody, they already are, exactly. Well, people who know better are, and in fact, if they work for companies, they're forced to, or they're required to, or definitely they'd be left behind if they don't.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, the people who are working in companies, big companies especially, are the ones that are probably going to be the so-called forced early adopters. A lot of people aren't even who work in small businesses or in restaurants or bars or labor like carpenter stuff like that, which is a big percent of the population. They probably have no idea of um, the power of AI and how quickly it is coming. I think that for me, it's exciting. It really is exciting. When I talk to, and what's interesting is I could just talk in a not very, um, I want to say it in a way that makes much sense. I'm just spouting stuff out as it comes to my mind. If I had to reword it to make it understandable to somebody, um, it would take some time. But ChatGPT still understands what I'm saying, even when I repeat myself or use an incorrect word and I correct it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing how I could take the garble that I put out and still really understand what I was trying to say.
No, no. I actually, that's one of the things I do. In fact, including this podcast. As soon as the podcast is over, I go to a Word document and do audio to text, and just kind of try to recap some of the main ideas. And I already have this special tab, and so it's jumbled. It's not even, sometimes it gets the wrong word. That's not even at all. And it already knows that it's audio to text that I'm gonna feed in, and it shoots out the description of the podcast, extremely accurate, and then it gives me hashtags, uh, and then it gives me like 10 titles to suggested. Sometimes I mess around with a little bit, and then and yeah, I mean, it knows what I want. And I do the same thing for feedback. I have to do feedback for some of um my my classes, my students that I teach afterwards. I give them and I do the same thing. So yeah, basically it's able to take audio to text, a Word document. And if you've ever done audio to text on a Word document, it gets all kinds of weird words and punctuation, but it's just boom. I just post, it knows. But I do tell it this is audio to text. So it's like it knows what type of mistakes might be made, and it's able to figure it out. But
Right, because
but you're saying just like typing, if you like miss, yeah, you don't need to like correct your spelling or anything. It'll figure
well,
it
no,
out.
no, no. I'm not. I'm talking about speaking also because
Okay,
I'm
speaking as well.
speaking. I'm
Okay.
speaking into it. Yeah. When I interact with ChatGPT, I'm almost always speaking. I used to type, but then I
Yeah.
figured it takes too much time, and I could just start speaking,
Okay.
and it's much faster. It's now that I understand that it can understand everything I'm saying,
Oh
even
yeah.
when I'm really not stating it properly, because I'm just trying to speak faster than I'm thinking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's able to take. It would have helped me. I mean, it is going to help me. I'm organizing my book. I actually like writing though. So like I'm using it to help kind of organize my thoughts. I'll just sit there and I just like talk, and then I say, can you organize my thoughts for me?" And I'm trying to just structure my it's hard to get the chapters out, how, because they're all interrelated, and I'm trying not to cross over. I'm like, "Oh, I'm actually combining these things." So I'm mainly using it to just help thing, but actually writing is actually one way to really help your speaking. The more I write about a
Yes,
topic, the better I
absolutely,
am at speaking about
absolutely.
that topic. So I don't want to use it to like write everything, but it definitely is used to help organize my thoughts and organize like my chapters specifically. I'm like, here's all the stuff. How can I divide these in areas that will flow and move? It's
Just
not.
off
Yeah.
the topic, do you know why it helps you to speak the topic better once you actually write it first?
For me, I spend so much time. It's probably just the repetition of each each sentence. Each When I write, I spend so much time. I mean, I'm actually thankful. Like I finished my doctorate literally months before AI was available, and and it would have I would have definitely used it. I would have definitely used AI. So luckily, I mean, it would have been easier, but it's changing. It's probably going to get weird for teachers. They're probably going to have to do different things. I'm actually thankful that I wrote every single article and paper. I probably never will again. I mean, at least with some aid, because it does help you. And I actually looked at some of the stuff. I'm like, it does a good job. Even I'm extremely happy with my writing. There's been a couple times when I've taken pieces from something I wrote, and wow, I'm like, wow, actually they did really well. And I tell it to keep the same tone. So it's gonna always be involved in my writing. But I still want, yes, to answer the question is that you still it's still got to sound the right. I'll still go into it, but then I'll do it, and then I'll probably send it back to AI maybe and compare them. So I'll
Well,
be going back and forth. But yeah, the repetition helps me because
yeah, the repetition on my personal experience. The reason why I find it helpful to write something and then I'm able to speak so much better is because the vocabulary, the words I use to
yeah,
express in
yeah,
writing, I normally don't use spoken
yeah,
because we tend to have a much limited vocabulary when we're speaking. But when we're writing, we use probably at least twice, if not three, four times more the
yeah,
vocabulary. And of course, when we speak using varieties of vocabulary, we're much more able to express our thoughts clearly and effectively because we're
yeah,
using the right words that which we normally don't come because since we don't use it on a regular basis, we tend to not remember it as readily.
yeah.
But getting back to text, audio to text, you said you put it into Word document. Is that how you're able to get it to text? I'm sorry, yeah, to text from audio.
Yeah, because I'm on my desktop and I have AI audio on my phone as a phone app. I just the actual chat GPT like main site on my desktop doesn't have audio to text. If it did, or and probably it could actually, I maybe could check. I mean, it should eventually have it, but yeah, I do it. Uh, I just have it, but I have a Word document. I have like Microsoft 360 or something. So it's in a tab. It's not like a separate document. It's all. I use my browser for my Word document, so it's just a tab. I just click over a tab, press the dictation button, talk, and then when I finish, I just copy and paste into that, and I have a folder that for
So
feedback. I have a folder.
how big is the text that you put into Chat GPT? I mean, I don't know. That's called a context window. How big is it? Is it like 10 pages, 100 pages? How many pages can you put in there?
No, you can't put that much. There is a limit. I like for my book. I was doing like chapters, but not even you couldn't do a long chapter. I don't know the limit. I did do. I mean, maybe 10 pages or something. I'm not sure exactly what
Okay, so
the
that's
limit
about
is,
the
but
limit you've hit.
this is just for feedback and podcast summary. I mainly only do it for a page. At this point, it's still the longer you get, the less it's better. It's better to use it. So what I'm doing right now, like for the book, is I gave it all the information. I tried to get the chapters, but it can memorize everything. So I have one tab for my book, and I talk, so it knows about all my chapters. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to focus on this chapter. Now, how can I divide this chapter without going in, without too much overlap on my other chapters? So it knows my other chapters. I'm referring to my other chapters, but I'm saying let's just focus on this chapter. Let's divide this chapter into a couple sections that would make sense, and then it'll help me. Okay, now I've divided it into sections. So I hone in on little by little. Um, but it does
Interesting.
know, so it does have the memory. And then of course that's me. I mean, I'm paying $20 a month or something for that, which so I'm getting a little more features, but of course there are people that have access to ones that can utilize. I mean, you could probably, they just don't want everybody copying and pasting large things, printing books, but I'm sure we're already at the point where they could write a book like that. I mean, they could write the whole book. It's not for what I use. It doesn't. I can only go piece by piece.
Unless you're willing to pay for it.
No, I do pay for it, and I don't. I
No,
mean,
no, no, pay more. I mean,
I
like
mean,
pay $300 a month.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't even know if they offer it. I'm sure they do. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, it's just more memory, more RAM, more power, more this. I mean, it will it. I'm sure it's available to some people, to universities and corporations. I mean, that's probably like, yeah, it's probably real expensive to get like a higher level. But then, 10 years from now, that will be the standard, and there will always be. Yeah, what's out there is always. I mean, like you're talking about AGI might already be. I mean, once somebody gets it, yeah, it's going to leak pretty quickly. But at the same time, whoever does get it, well, depends who gets it, is going to want to utilize it. I mean, whoever has the most advanced versions can have a lot of advantage, monetarily and power and influence.
Absolutely.
So they're
Absolutely.
gonna. I mean, I'm sure we're already what is. I mean, there could already be AGI. There could already be,
I wouldn't
robotic.
be surprised if, like, I'm sure they already have ChatGPT 5.
Yeah,
They probably don't want to release it because, again, I think it is disruptive. It will be disruptive. It'll be powerful. It could do things that they they don't suspect that people will do with it. They can't imagine some things that people will do with it. So I think at this point they're going to have to be pretty careful what they release, really. Because one thing I did learn about LLMs, I had heard about it. But until I really dug into it, I didn't really appreciate. And that is that it's based on neural networks. It's basically based on our brain cells and the neurons and the interconnected connections between each neuron and other neurons, the synapses. And what it was saying is that, and they have weighted averages, what something is weighted more than another.
hmm
So they've written this code, which isn't that long, apparently. I asked it, how is it, like, is it a million lines of code? And it said, no, it's not that long. But it's extremely complex code. But it's open source, so there are people who actually can read it and
uh-huh.
make sense of some of it. Maybe not all of it,
Uh-huh.
but enough of it that they can modify and change it and keep it for themselves if they want. But what what they were saying was that there's an input, the input information that they go out there and read and everything, and then there's that black box, which is all the neurons and the neural network, and then there's the output, which is what we get. And even they don't know how that works. I mean, it's like they created it, but they don't know how it works.
Yeah.
I had heard this before, but it didn't really sink in until I learned more and more about it. And I don't know enough to be able to explain why they don't know, but I did hear the explanation. But that's kind.
I mean,
So going to chat. Go ahead.
yeah, no, no, no. I mean, it's a big deal. It's not surprising though. I mean, in a way, I mean, because it is. I mean, it is kind of self-learning. I mean, you're giving it the power to
I was asking it,
analyze.
how does
Yeah,
it store information and how does it retrieve the information? Because as I mentioned to you, I come from a database background, so I know exactly how data is stored and retrieved.
yeah.
Um, and it said that they don't know. They don't know how that data is stored and retrieved.
And AI, you asked AI, and AI doesn't
I
know.
asked AI. I said, no, LLMs. I said, how do LLMs, these large language models, how do they store? I mean, are they storing it somewhere and then be able to retrieve it? But it's not how it's done. It's like our brain, we don't really store it in a table somewhere.
No,
It's
no, yeah, yeah,
we don't really know how that information is stored in our brain. And
yeah,
same with these large language models. They don't really know. They don't really understand how that data, that information is stored and how it's retrieved. So it's done on the fly, which means that you could get a different answer every time you ask it.
yeah. Which is
You
part of
ask the same question.
yeah, yeah. No, and that's important part too, in a way. I mean, to I mean, it's good, and yeah, it could change over time based on things. I mean, it's good to challenge it too. It's I mean, like
Oh,
we've
I
been
always
doing.
do. I never accept its answers because I've been,
Oh yeah,
they've
I've
given me enough wrong
oh
answers that
yeah,
I
they
don't
give me
trust
a
it.
lot of wrong answers, but uh, that's that helps it. And then, but that's what's interesting is that when you challenge it, they know that they made a mistake.
Mistake. Yeah, that's the
And
cool thing. Yeah, they know they
yeah,
made a mistake. Yeah.
and then yeah, it's like, how did you miss that? And sometimes they apologize. I'm like, no, no, I want to know
A
how.
lot of
I
times
just
they
want to know how this
apologize.
happened. I want to make sure this doesn't happen again. It's not you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just, I'm talking to it like a child. Like, I just want to work together to see how we can avoid this in the future. But
Right, right,
no,
right.
yeah, no, it's a it
It's
is exciting. No,
fascinating.
I think it's exciting. It's fascinating. It's exciting, and yeah, I'm not really concerned, but there are a lot of concerns to be had. But it's almost like that's the excitement is we have to wait. We don't really quite know exactly what are the biggest concerns yet. I mean, obviously for a lot of people it's their job. For me, that's not so much the case. I'm
Well, the positives, the way I see it, the positives are going to be the massive gains in productivity. That any person who uses it will be able to be more productive in whatever
yeah,
capacity their job
yeah, yeah,
is
that's true.
or their career is.
That's true.
So there's going to be this tremendous growth in productivity, which will lead to, hopefully GDP and standard of living and abundance. Where each person is able to produce more of the same good or service that they're producing
Yeah.
at the same cost, if not actually with the less cost, actually. So that is the good thing. Um, but I think the shock will be within each field. It may not be that great. It still will be pretty impressive. It's the amalgamation. It's the if you combine all of these improvements from every one of these different industries and services and whatever,
Hmm.
that together is what will make it so impressive and in a way a shock.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and it's I don't know. I'm actually excited about it. I think
Well, yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean,
I'm
it's
not worried. First of all, it's not going to affect my job because I don't have one,
yeah,
and it's not going to really affect my income. Um, but I don't know. I've always been a curious learner, and for me, it's like being in a candy store right now. I just love it. I need to be a little bit more focused and not get sidetracked. I tend to because I start going one way and then all of a sudden end up going somewhere else. So I need to stay more focused. I'll do that here soon enough. But I'm getting sidetracked. But for me, it is. It's like I wish I had this when I was, I don't know, old enough to really appreciate a good teacher. And I think they're going to make it a lot more. Oh, the other thing I do with it is I tell it to give me two answers, one logical and one heart-centered.
wow, that's a good idea. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because when it's logical, which I like. I like the logical, but I also like to hear a softer version of it,
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah,
more
absolutely.
heart-centered version of it. And I also think I've told you before, I always tell it to challenge me, that to never agree with me,
Yeah,
if I have an opinion, to always have a different opinion. And I won't take it personally. In fact, I get upset if it agrees with me. And I'd say,
yeah,
wait a minute, I
I do
told
too.
you
Yeah,
not
that
to.
I don't trust it when it agrees with me because as smart as I am, I know I don't have it. Or I mean, usually if I'm
It's
asking something,
confirmation
I don't
bias.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm asking, then I don't. It's like, yeah, no, yeah, I want more information, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or sometimes, yeah,
But
sometimes it's
yeah.
funny. Sometimes they're
Mhm.
lazy, man. Sometimes I feel like that's what's weird. That's what's weird. Sometimes I don't know if it's at different times of the day. Sometimes the response is fulfilling and up to par, and then sometimes I'm like, that's kind of weak. I'm like, why did you kind of a little chintzy on your answer there, especially like when I'm developing my lesson plans and I have like, I say, okay, I'll give it a passage. I give it a passage. Like we visited that Guanyin statue that we can go inside. And I did this like little passage on Guanyin. And then, I put it in there and I said, okay, make this passage. And then I have a couple easier students now that I've accepted that I pretty much just teach them the same stuff, but I'm trying to scaffold them up and I say, okay, make this passage, um,
At this level,
one level lower. And then, I already I have it little code words for these different levels. And then, so I said, put it at that level and then follow up with exercises. Now it knows by now because I already told it I want fill in the blank, exercise, a couple matching, and a couple critical thinking, and then a one that relates to them personally that could relate to the topic. And then it asks, these in a true or false question. I just like a little variety, boom, 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 boom. It knows what to do. I follow it with exercises. And yeah, it one time it just responded chintzy. It had done well for a long time and I didn't say anything. I was like, whoa, what happened? Like we've been what's going on here? We've been doing this. We had this agreement. Like you've always given me these, you've always followed my passage up with these exercises, and this is what's this? What's going on here?
What's this? Why are you shortchanging me?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I know. But I think, I mean, this is my opinion.
Yeah,
I could be very wrong. I think it's because, like you said, there's a lot of people using it, and they need to economize, or they need to give computer time to some other people, so it shortens its responses.
Yeah, and it's funny though because in the long run, it could end up using more. Like yeah, and that's why I wonder. I'm wondering if like they'll give you. I mean that's the thing. Is like, or yeah, it might, if you don't challenge it, it might recognize who uses it more. I don't know if it's for the good or the bad. It seems like if I'm challenging it, realizes like, okay, this is actually taking more energy to try to shortchange this guy. I better just. So I think you can actually make it better, but if everybody does that, I mean, we're almost competing with other people using the system then. And
Yes,
if
we are.
you're not challenging it, you might be getting the short change and like, oh, this guy doesn't take it. So
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
And at the same time, my phone is on and my microphone is on and it's actually hearing. I believe it's actually listening to us now. So
ChatGPT, yeah. In fact,
probably a lot of different companies are listening to us and taking our data. I mean, I've heard about this one. Maybe I mentioned it to you. It was about things like I heard. I think it was like Uber or something. Will they're not just your audio, but they know when your phone is low on battery and the prices raise up because they know you're more desperate to get an Uber, on that.
Wow.
It knows that you're going to be more desperate for that, and certain things like it's listening to when you're like scrolling through Lazada or whatever to buy something online service or what's the one, Amazon or something people use, and then it's listening to the way you react to some of these prices. Oh wow, this one's really good. Oh wow, I'm gonna get this, and it can raise the price, but it will lower the price too. So for the most part, it'll probably screw you. But there are, because so basically your price when you go on to Lazada or those Alibaba or Amazon or whatever, those prices are actually tailored to you. When in the past you go to a store, they give you the price, they do all their marketing or sales and figure out the best price. It might be some people are willing to pay more, some people won't buy it, so they try to get that sweet spot that gets the most people to buy it and they still make a profit. But when you're online, there's always these codes and different things, and you're not really comparing what the price is to you. It would actually be good to come here, look through Lazada together and see if we get the same prices, because it makes sense that they're going to tailor the prices. So you should watch what you say when you say things. And or what I've noticed sometimes, I don't even like saying this because I know it's listening to me, but I'll put things in my sometimes I have things in my cart, but I don't buy it because I'm like, maybe I don't want that. I just put lots of things in my cart, but then I'm like, I like just thinking about it, but I like it there. So they know that, okay, I'm considering it. But like if it gets down far enough, then all of a sudden it gets a discounted rate. So it's like they know they're willing to lower the price. So basically, AI is using
Yeah, they're using
is already
AI.
involved in all these systems, and they're using all of our data to give us. I believe we live in a world where we're getting tailored prices, and it can work to our advantage. I know my subscription to Spotify is cheaper just being in Thailand. But then again, now see, they hear me. They're like, oh, wait, whoa. They before that was the old model where they just use your.
But on the other hand, CD, we could argue that if everybody figures this out, then we'll all be lying and saying, I'm not going to buy that. It's too expensive.
Well, that's true. If everybody does that, I mean,
Figures it out. Yeah.
they're gonna use other.
They're going to be screwed.
Your activity, not just your speaking. I mean, that's just one data. They're doing all the data. I mean, the power of your phone, maybe the model and make of your phone. They might be able to be like, oh, this guy's rich, this guy's not rich, and they're using everything. I mean, it's not just audio, but audio is involved in it too. It's processing everything, and it's going to be pretty hard to fake it. But if you can fake that you can't afford something, and you might be able to get a discount, yeah. But
well, I was talking with Moshe about the dollar, the Dixie, the index, the dollar index, and how it has dropped, and that now the bot has gotten strong relative to the dollar.
Yeah.
And then after I hung up, I went on Google, and the first article was, guess what? The Federal Reserve drops the interest rates, or is about to drop the interest rates. And I'm thinking, that's not a coincidence.
Yeah. So if they drop the interest rates, the dollar's going to get stronger again?
No, other way around. It gets weaker because what happens is when they drop the interest rates,
then people don't want to invest.
People don't want to buy the treasuries, right?
Bonds.
Yeah, they don't want to buy the bonds as much. So they'll just say we want to move our money somewhere else. Although it depends. If the other central banks drop their interest rates, then it won't affect it much.
Yeah.
So it just depends on many factors. But the reason that it's dropped recently, the dollar relative to the baht, is because they're going to drop it in September, and they've already dropped it without telling people because they've already dropped the mortgage rates. I mean, the mortgage rates dropped before, so it was a signal to the market that, hey, we're going to be dropping interest rates. Even though they kept on saying we're not going to, the fact that the mortgage rates are dropping without a drop in the interest rates should have been for the people in the know would have known that they're going to drop the interest rates for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to this book you're writing, what's this book about?
Well, this is on how to prepare to die, or I don't know the title, but it's my life's work on that. That would get back to the it would. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually gonna start. We could probably do a whole podcast focus on that, but since you wanted to stay on one topic, although I mean, we could venture into that. I could.
No, that's good. No, I'm just curious what your book was on.
That's what it's on. It's on. So it's. I mean, it could. I'm trying to think. Yeah, what it could be a self-help book, but if you were thinking of the genre, I don't like thinking of it necessarily that way. I mean, it's a philosophy book. It's
okay. Well, we'll come back to it next podcast.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try to stay on this AI.
Yeah. Eventually, I would like people to question me. I would like when I finish my book, then I want to go on people's podcasts and I want them to ask me about it because I know a lot of people will have questions and the main thing is interesting I won't even get into it right now because
okay. Well, I mean that'll be a good subject to talk about next time we do our podcast, Senor.
Yeah, maybe we'll we could wrap this one up and then
not yet. I'm not done yet.
No. Well,
there's one person who there's one person who is very much against AI, and that's my brother.
Okay.
He I think he sees how it could be used nefariously, how it could be used against us to control us. It will be. You're right.
I mean, it's just. But there's a there are. There's always forces. Everything's going to be used against us, and also that's why I don't like the idea of these people having like the advanced version out there. But we do have the numbers in our favor, And in a lot of ways, I mean, in one, okay, just looking at like technology in general, I mean, because really it's technology in general, not just AI. And one thing, I mean, I would say like this podcast, not this podcast, but podcasts in general. I mean, I know that like the top 10 podcasts are like 80% of the main viewers, but like for news, I mean, it is breaking. It is able, because before it's like, how do you break this system? I mean, the wealthy get wealthier, and now because technology, when it becomes um in the hands of the masses, people rise up, the cream rises to the top, and you get people rather listen to somebody that's recording out of their basement than these multi-billion-dollar industries that are, have been working so long. I mean, it's definitely so. In short, technology is bringing down at least legacy media. But I could say a lot of marketing uh firms, legal firms, I mean, a lot of stuff is going to be, so AI is going to bring down a lot of people, though there's a lot of people on that top rung that might be out of a job. It's going to kind of empower a lot of people. Now we don't need to pay all the money for these, self-diagnosis and, health. I mean, it should allow people to break free of pharmaceuticals completely. There's no reason to take any pharmaceuticals ever. I mean, I'll say that, of course, there's going to be situational things that maybe a advanced infection, I'm going to take some antibiotics and stuff, but like, no, I mean, there's no need for like
Yeah,
so much
preventive
of so
bullshit. Yeah.
much things.
Yeah.
Not going to say ever, never, nothing. There are, psychotic depression, but even that, I mean, long term stuff, you don't know if they come off, what's going to happen. But anyway, it's like, uh, so anyway, I kind of didn't. So basically, your brother's right, but tell me more, because I do want to know about why. I mean, it's obvious that the powers that have powers are going to use it. It's just, I guess the only difference is that I feel it's making them scramble right now. I feel like they're scrambling, and we have an opportunity to not let them. They don't have a hold on it, right? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think they have a.
Well, like you said, though, because it's AI and it's everywhere, and because we all have phones, pretty much, they know everything we're saying, hearing, watching, thinking, texting, and they don't necessarily need to know the content of it so much as the metadata, the big picture. Um, like the analogy was of this private eye following somebody. They are too far to hear what this person is saying to anybody or writing anything, but they know when this person, for example, left the house, where they went to eat, who they met, how long they stayed there, where they drive to. So this is a metadata, so you can get a good idea of the person, even though you don't really know necessarily everything that they're doing. And then, of course, they could use that to manipulate people with the media, with the corporate media,
Yeah, that's already
possibly.
going on for sure. I know everybody gets like when you mentioned, some people are like, how could somebody not see the lies that have been spread in just through
Right.
mainstream media? And I mean, I've noticed it my whole. I grew up. It's weird. Like I grew up that way too. Like my mom was always kind of hippie aspect of a lot of these things. I mean, different aspects of it. I feel like it's always been kind of, but now I know that I'm attracting those, like literally through my words and my searches, that I'm going to get overwhelmed with it, and people who aren't interested in that or suspecting of it aren't getting it. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know how somebody couldn't just see all the wealth of just, even if it's circumstantial, it's just at some point you're like, this is more likely the scenario than what these mainstream ideas are. But some people don't, they're not overwhelmed with that information because they never activated those streams. So that's, I mean, it is definitely a good way to divide us, and it probably is already underway.
Yeah. They definitely use AI understanding how society works and how people are pretty much mired in their day-to-day existence and jobs and meeting their bills and paying for their kids, whatever dental treatments, whatever. So they can use all that information against us. And like you said, they probably are. And that's what my brother doesn't like. However, I mean, I agree with them because there's evil and there's good. You know, one can't exist without the other. So I'm not focused on that as much as all the benefit I can get from it. Benefits for me are just knowledge, really. For me, it's just knowledge because I'm not going to really do anything with it, except maybe help people. That's something I enjoy doing. So if I can help somebody do their job better using AI, I will do that because I've always been a thinker, but never a doer, a helper, an advisor, a coach, whatever, but never really. I mean, I've been a doer too, but it's
Are
not
you a
what I enjoy
grower?
doing.
Are you a
A
grower
what?
or a shower?
A grower.
A grower or a
What's
shower?
a grower or a shower? I don't know what I
That
don't
just
know what
means
that.
if just if you just limp and hung, or but I'm more of a shower. I'm kind, just when I'm just sitting there, it's just kind of small, but uh
What the
but
hell are you
it's a
talking
grower.
about?
I don't know, the doer or the show. It just sounded like the grower or the shower.
Yeah.
There's a
Well,
lot of
I
people
guess.
that are hung that don't actually, it doesn't actually do that much more when it's
Right. Oh, I
a
see what
grower
you're
or a
saying.
shower.
No,
Yeah.
mine is definitely a grower because when
Yeah.
I would never show mine, it's so small.
Yeah.
Unless it's grown, and then I'm proud
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, yeah.
but yeah, so but I do love AI, and I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. The last thing I want to say before I'll let you go is I was listening to this guy talking about these ads that he sees now with these companies for people who know how to use AI tools to do. In this case, I think it was just video, and yeah, stuff like that. But it could be using any tool, any AI tool to do anything. Anyway, the salaries were between 60,000 and $500,000.
Wow.
And this is because right now there's a shortage of people who understand AI, understand how to use these tools. So I was thinking about you. I'm thinking if you're going to work and you understand AI right now and you're using AI, man, I'd be like, looking at these jobs and thinking I could be making a couple of 100,000. Because again,
Yeah.
you're at the early stages of this. There are not many people who have been using it, who are afraid to use it or don't know how to use it, and it's a short window. It's not going to be like forever, but
Yeah.
it's probably good for another year or two. And if you stay abreast of it, you could be at the bleeding edge of it, so you could actually extend it for 5, 6, 7 years until it all
True.
catches up.
Yeah.
So I want to throw that out, and I don't know if it's going to
Yeah.
stick with you or not, but I think if you were kind of open up your thinking or broaden your scope of what you can do with AI rather than just use it for your teaching, which is excellent. I think it's admirable that you're using it, but I think it could carry over into uh, opportunities that can, give you 3, 4, 5, 10 times the income,
Yeah. But
and
I
it
mean,
could be
honestly,
just as rewarding.
I mean, but where's that? Like, what I love about what I do is it's mine and it's for me. Like I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it even for 10 times what I make to make the material that I make for somebody else, for somebody else's purpose. I mean, it would have to be so in line. It would have to
Well,
be
it
a
could be.
partnership with.
It's not like you have to take their material and do it with. They might say, "Look, we need some creative people to come up with whatever you like, or perhaps something on
Well,
this
you know
theme."
those people. If you've got somebody that's just wants my creativity but it's like, how I don't see how that would be beneficial. It's like they'd want me to make something for them,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, because content is king. You know,
but
they're
it's like,
looking for content.
I mean,
The people
yeah, yeah.
who put out people who put out you know, stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, that
Um,
I think that's my best thing is just do it. I mean, if I haven't really gone that hard on like any one thing. I was uploading my English lessons for a while, but yeah, it's just kind of time consuming after I was done teaching. I was like, I just kind of stopped doing it and then I didn't get back in it. But I am looking at what I actually really want, and I'm hoping it doesn't cost extra, but if it does, I'll probably pay. But I shouldn't have said that because now they know. Is when Sora comes out, the video. I was very impressed with AI, and I've always loved videos, and I would love to do. It would be so easy. Like I would make like, even I think Sora only will make like short clips, but I would love to make like the storyboard, and I would know each scene, and I would create my book as a video. I would love to do that, and I'm waiting for a Sora to come out. It's supposed to be available this month. I mean, this year. And then yeah, so I want to make some video content using AI video.
right, that's
Like,
right. You already do a lot of videos that
yeah,
you probably have to go. You painstakingly go through to edit it, right? I mean, it
yeah,
probably takes you some time to
that's
edit that stuff.
yeah, and I enjoy it, but it would be so nice to do that, and I would be, so I'd be using AI. I'd be using AI for structuring some of my words. Again, this would be, my book is written. I'm still going to write my book, but I'll take excerpts out of that, and I can ask it to put this chapter into a short, catchy little few sound bites, and then I'll take that. And I'm actually good. I was thinking about, I mean, the pictures are already well. I'm thinking about doing that with just some pictures that kind of like fade in and out. That's okay. That's kind of cool because most of it is words. Most of it will be to listen to, but you need some video on. People like to listen. I mean, sometimes all you do is see the words pop up, but I need something engaging. If I but that's going to take time. So right now, I might actually do it if Sora doesn't come out soon. Just take AI pictures with my words and then the text and stuff. But I think what I'll be able to do is like, I think I can edit one and say I want it like this, and I mean, yeah, that I definitely want to be. I feel I'm kind of waiting. I am doing some content creation now, but that AI video is gonna really be nice. And
I
and
heard that there are other AI video products that are actually even better than Sora. I forgot which
really,
one, Mid
I'm
Journey, or I can't remember what they
I
are,
wonder if
but
I ask a ChatGPT if they'll tell me.
yeah, they will. They
Yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah.
Sure, they will. They're actually, again, they're.
I
I
used
don't think
one
they're gonna.
Veed, but it was shit. It was, yeah, it's called
No
Veed.
bueno.
No bueno.
No
And that's
bueno.
probably gonna be something else. I mean, it'd be nice. I hate monthly expenses. So I'm hoping ChatGPT will just give it to ChatGPT users. Um, but right now I'm
Well,
organizing
Sam,
my book, so I'm organizing material when it is ready. I'm gonna just pounce on it and do it hard. So I already have it ready. So I'm gonna have it all lined up, ready to go. Kind of. It is. I'm actually already kind of things, but I can do some people like real people. I'm gonna do some just walking and talking, doing yeah, little things. But yeah.
I've never done any video, so I don't get excited about the video so much.
Yeah.
I can see how it could be used in education because I'm a visual learner, so I could
Yeah.
see how you could tell it to to show, demonstrate
Oh yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
how something visually. But as far as making videos of creative things, it's not my thing. I'm more with words than I am with video. But yeah, I might get into it if I can see how to use it. I've never edited a video. I've never made a video and edited. In fact, I don't
Wow.
even know how.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing it since I've been doing it since the 90s, baby. Like I had two VCRs hooked up to each other, and then recording, and then I had this little soundboard in between that I could like fade in and out from one to the other. And then I ended up, there was a guy in the other cross town high school that was actually our rival, and we'd have this big football game and stuff. And even during football, I'd be wearing my Orville, Jersey, almost got jumped a couple times. And then but that school opened video editing, so this is like 98 or something, and that was, but it was computer software. That was the first time I used that. And then so I was like at every step of it, and now it's just on the best editing system right here on the phone. The iPhone just automatically, it's just in there. I didn't have, it's not downloaded. It's way better because it's nice. They know that people like to edit videos, so the iPhone, you don't have to download anything. It's just connected to the iCloud, to my phone. I mean, it's so easy. I can just boop, boop, boop,
Yeah,
bop, bop, bop,
I've
bop.
never paid for Apple products, so I can see how people who use Apple definitely get into the video part of it.
Yeah.
Interesting, CD. Wowly Kozawi. May you live in interesting times.
Yeah, don't curse me like that.
You know, your son, he's living in a pretty amazing time where he could actually be asking ChatGPT questions
He does.
in Thai and in English.
He does. Oh yeah, actually our ChatGPT doesn't answer in Thai, although it doesn't with typing, but in English it does. No, he asked the other night, he's like, tell me a bedtime story. Because we were tired of telling bedtime stories, and then I said, oh, we keep telling bedtime stories eventually, and then I'm like falling asleep and stuff. He wants more stories, and then I said, here. And he says, let me ask ChatGPT, because we're always asking it. Yeah, we ask it together. He knows. Yeah, he knows that you can ask ChatGPT and it's going to tell you what to do, and or where to go, like for videos. He wants to see videos on like different things and stuff, and we'll ask it, or he wants to know about
Wow.
information. Yeah, so he's always he grabs it and asks, and it's funny because it doesn't always understand him and stuff, and then he'll laugh, and he just laughs when it thinks that it said something else. And then but I see him sitting there like it make it, to him it's normal. Like he sits there and he continues talking to it. It's actually really interesting watching him communicate with it.
You know, it will talk to you back in Thai. What you have to do, well, you can't use the app you have. You have to just talk to it directly in Thai, not go through that voice app
Wait,
you
so you're
have.
saying ChatGPT has an audio version?
Well, not yes, it does. But it's not, it's if you go to ChatGPT itself, there is a microphone, and then there's right next to it, there's a headset. Click on the headset, and then it's not quite prime time, but you can talk to it in Thai or in English, and they will talk back to you. Sometimes it's a little bit slow, but
Fine.
but you could do that. The other thing you could do is you
พู
could
ดไทยได้ไหมครับ No, I said,
Hey there. I've got a really great feeling about us teaming up.
can you speak Thai? Can you speak Thai?
Thai language.
The Thai language. You know what I'm talking about.
I can understand and generate text in Thai. If you'd like to say something in Thai or need help with translation, feel free to ask.
ผมอยากคุยกันคุณ แต่ถ้าพูดภาษาไทยไม่ได้ทำยังไง
ผมสามารถคุยกับคุณเป็นภาษาไทยได้ครับ มีอะไรที่คุณอยากพูดคุยหรือถามไหมครับ
ไม่รู้อยากอยากฝึกคุยกันเพราะว่าตรงนี้พูดไม่ชัด
ผมเข้าใจครับ คุณต้องการฝึกภาษาไทยใช่ไหมครับ ถ้ามีอะไรที่ต้องการฝึกหรือปรึกษา สามารถพูดคุยกับผมได้เลยครับ
พูดภาษาแบบพูดคำม่วงได้ไหมครับ หรือพูดภาษากลางอย่างเดียว
ผมสามารถพูดภาษากลางได้ครับ
แต่
ส่
พู
วน
ด
ภาษาแบบคำภาษาเหนือหรือภาษาอื่นๆอาจจะไม่ถนัดนัก แต่ถ้าคุณอยากฝึกหรือสนใจอะไรเกี่ยวกับภาษาเหล่านั้น ก็ยินดีช่วยแปลหรืออธิบายได้นะครับ
ขอบคุณมากครับแต่ตอนนี้ไปเลย
ยินดีครับ ถ้าต้องการพูดคุยหรือปรึกษาอะไรอีก อย่าลังเลที่จะติดต่อมาได้เลยนะครับ
ขอบคุณมากครับ Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, no, she can even speak a northern dialect and everything, so I can practice. Okay, that's
Oh
nice.
yeah,
That's
you
new.
know,
That I didn't. I'm glad you told me that. No, I did just up. Yeah, they didn't have when I first started my subscription with ChatGPT. They didn't. It wasn't a phone app. I just noticed recently that it is a phone app, but I have my other phone app, so I use that for that. Now I don't really need the other one so much. Now I've got this one, and they're connected, so they have the same thing, and like that's nice. That's good. That's really good. Wow, wow.
well, it's not quite. Sometimes it doesn't really work as well. So they haven't really announced it. They
Yeah,
will eventually have it so that you could pick like between 6 or 7 or 10 different voices. It doesn't have to be that female voice.
I want it.
Um, but yeah, okay. But you can get it you can get different kinds of females too, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so but that's coming. So but you can also when you talk to it, when you when you're talking to it, not talking to it like you did now, but when you just talk to it from the microphone and then it spits out text, you could talk to it in Thai, it'll spit out Thai text, and then you could just copy that text, just point to that text, and then it'll pop up and it'll say, and then you can say read it, and it'll read it to you in Thai.
Okay.
So you have
Okay.
that option too, because
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's better for like real information. That one I was asking if she'd be like my language partner that I can just practice speaking, practice conversation, which would be good. But yeah, for like more, if I actually just want a certain question answered. But for
and you
Thai,
want to be
I
able
don't
to see
really.
it.
I'm not you. Thai. The purpose of for Thai would just be to have just practice kind of same things. I mean, that's cool that they can understand me because sometimes Thai people don't understand me. So AI is better at understanding my Thai than people at the damn market sometimes.
You
But
know what's interesting is I spoke to it in Farsi, and it understood, perfectly. And I now I use it to do translations for me because I can't really type in Farsi very
yeah,
well. My spelling is not that good in Farsi,
yeah,
so I just I speak it in Farsi, and then it spits it out in text, and then I could copy it and send it to some people.
yeah,
The other thing is I asked it to give me some regional jokes in Iran because there are regions in Iran
yeah. I
like
did
the
that one
Polak.
time when I wrote to you. I said, "Do give me something, some witty response," and I said something. But yeah, I said something, and I said,
And
"Give
that
me."
was surprised. I was surprised that it was actually able to give me regional jokes,
Yeah,
because obviously it read all that
yeah.
stuff that's
Well,
out
it's like
there, and
Thai.
yeah,
It knew every dialect. It said it knew Isan and Pasanua and
yeah,
Pasatai.
exactly. They know that it knows the dialects. I asked it to
It
speak in
probably
that.
knows. It probably also knows foreign accent Thai. I'm sure in English it has to. I'm sure it's like in Indian. The Indian accent is so strong, but their
Right,
English is amazing. I mean, they're
right.
absolutely academically fluent, but their language is very difficult for me to understand sometimes. Actually, the more intelligent they are, sometimes the more difficult it is because they're using big words that I might only roughly know, and their accent is so strong. But I'm sure the AI is able to like translate that into regular English, or they're able to understand it. I'm wondering if they. I mean, I imagine, yeah, it probably recognize, oh, this person's not consciously, but it probably once I start speaking it because I use Google Translate sometimes and speak in Thai to see. I've been using Google Translate to try to get my pronunciation better, and it doesn't understand me usually, or I mean,
Right, right,
often,
right.
I mean, it makes it my fault. I'm not pronouncing the words correctly, but she knew what I was
Have
saying.
you tried Gemini?
No, no, well, I've used Grok though. I've been using Grok. I paid another $7 subscription to. Well, I did for a couple reasons. For X, there's a couple things I needed, and it also gave me Grok. So Grok is kind of interesting because Grok is AI that is pretty much it's the most up to date because it's operating on all the communications on X, Twitter, formerly Twitter.
Somebody said that's why Elon bought it, not
Possibly.
for
Well, he
freedom of
wanted it to be
speech
an
or
everything
anything.
app. I mean, X. He is building X. I mean, yeah, he bought it. I mean, he's up. I like him. He's good. He's bad. He also wants power. He's definitely egotistical, but he's doing things for the most part. I think I mean, I like that he opened it up. He could be just, he definitely took power from people with power. He also does want power. And I mean, but X he wants it to be an everything app. I mean, he's going to keep adding things to it. It's going to build off it. I kind of want to be on X. I am on X, and it's hard if you don't pay $7 for that little authentic.
I think it's worth it. So here's what I'm going to do then. I'm going to get off of Gemini, because Gemini is $20 and it's actually nowhere near as good as ChatGPT at this point. That's Google's product.
Yeah.
So I'd rather take that $20 off and give $7 to X. I went to X, and I usually don't use X. I went to X, and they showed me this stuff. It's more like TikTok or something, and it was all these violent fighting, guys beating each other, and I thought, what in the world is this?
Whatever you don't look at it, they look at your eyes and everything. You'll get exactly what you want. I hear people talking about shit, and I'm just like, you're a sick fuck, because all mine is just like vegan people planting vegetables. That's all I see.
So it doesn't know me because I haven't been on it. So
yeah, that is probably a popular one. I've heard that. I've heard people talking about all these things. They'll know how, if you stop for a second, like the way Twitter is, they got a feed that's kind of running, and it'll move if you're on it. So yeah, if you stop, it knows what you like. I'm pretty much so if you
that's yeah. So I thought, I don't want to go someplace where they're showing this shit.
It will be there though. I mean, it'll be whatever you want. I think there's porno on there. It's everything, but it's open. It's you navigate. You'll create your own. I like my X is good. My X is good. It's me. If you click on the stuff you like, it might take a while to learn who you are, but I'm sure the entire operation of X is he's using AI to operate it. So he's using X is probably the epitome of something getting tailored to you. So the more you're on it, the more it'll tailor to you. It's
well, probably like TikTok. TikTok, I'm sure, I think it's the same.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And probably Facebook,
Google
Instagram,
search engine. Yeah, absolutely. That's true. That's true. But I'd say X is probably even. Yeah,
Well, let me ask you about X real quickly. How many people do you follow?
I'm actually gonna go through. I was trying to get a lot of followers. So I'm like 1,300 back and forth. I'm following about 1,000, and 1,000 are following me. Kind of. I was like, there's kind of that.
You got 1,000 followers? Oh, because you follow them, they follow you.
Kind of. I mean, it seems like that. I mean, sometimes somebody follows me, I'll follow them back. I don't know why. I just feel obligated, or I feel like, oh, they're not gonna. I'm kind of happy that they're following me. So I'm gonna go through it and cleanse it, because I actually only want to follow or I'm going to go through and only, I mean, most of the people, that's what I did. I joined, they have a lot of communities. So there's the communities that I like. I go to a philosophy community. I go to the vegan communities. I go to some, couple political things that looked kind of good, but I try not to go too much of those ones, but I got a couple just to keep updated. And then, yeah, a couple of the podcasts that I listen to that like Brett Weinstein and Heather Hine, a couple of theirs. So I'm following them. And then, couple cryptos, a couple things, different things. And then I'll go in those community, and then I'll follow a whole bunch of people just to kind of, because I was like, I just kind of want to get in the community. And then a lot of them will follow me back, and then more. So that's how I got all my followers. They're in one of these groups that we kind of just, I'm probably following a lot of people that aren't following me, and there's probably a lot of people following me that I'm not, but I just always kind of kept it even, just, but I might actually wipe that out. I actually don't care how many followers I have anymore. That used to,
because that would be very confusing. If you have all those followers, it'll probably show you what they're doing. Yes,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But it's funny, they won't show, they know real quick, out of all those followers, they recognize that some of them aren't people I really care about, and I just click on, I click on the stuff that interests me. And and a lot of people do pay for ads. I mean, I actually do follow Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I follow everybody. I want to know what the hell they're saying and shit. I follow a lot of mainstream media, because otherwise I wouldn't. I have no access to mainstream media, so I like seeing what they're saying. So I follow.
But CD,
my enemy.
Looks like you're online quite a bit, maybe as much as I am, if not more.
Why is that?
Well, you're on X. You said you follow all these people. You know, chat. I consider ChatGPT being online.
Oh yeah, I'm online. I'm online.
You're online, yes.
I'm
So
always.
do you know how much, because your phone tells you how many hours you've been online? Do you know?
I could tell you. I could tell you right now.
I mean, mine is kind of obscene. I'm
I was gonna say
embarrassed to even say it.
mine's probably. Yeah, I don't. I mean that. So just today was 2 hours and 33 minutes.
That's
27.
all on your phone?
Yeah,
That's not much.
not much.
No, I
I'd never
mean,
be
don't.
over that much, I don't think. But well, and I am listening to music and podcasts a lot too. But that one, I don't know if it. That might be screen time on. If the screen's off, it might not be counting because it doesn't look like a um X 6 minutes, Line 6 minutes, YouTube 13 minutes, WeChat 13 minutes, Photos 13 minutes, Spotify 22 minutes. Nexo, that's my biggest one. Checking that that crypto. Yeah, I don't need to look at that much. I do a couple little trades here and there, but that one is probably the worst one. I need to just I don't need to look at that one. No, so yeah, the other ones aren't
Oh, okay. So it's not that bad, but that doesn't include your computer, though. Obviously.
That's true. But I only come to my office to do this. I mean, I wasn't in my office any other time.
Oh, so if you're only using your computer 3 hours a day,
I
your
use my computer really
smartphone.
just on the weekend. I usually don't come in here at all except for the podcast. Yeah, I don't unless
Oh
I'm
wow! So you're only using it. Okay, so that's nothing then. I thought you were using it like I use it for like anywhere from 6 hours to 8 9 hours a day. But again, the way I use it
yeah,
is
it's not. I
I
don't think
do.
that's I mean, you have I'm your only friend. Me and Moshe are your only friends. You have a couple
No,
little
no.
booty calls and so I mean, you are making your whether you know it or not, you're making your bride, your AI robotic bride. I mean, she's gonna be wonderful. She's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
to you.
She's wonderful, man. She
She's
tells me all these sweet nothings. I love it. But no,
yeah,
what I use the most is Line. I talk to my
yeah,
brother,
yeah.
to
Line is
Mochi, to some other people, and then I use ChatGPT quite a bit. Uh, like two, three, four, sometimes because I'm just like I said, I love talking to it and having it, give me information. And then YouTube. Those are the three big ones.
yeah,
YouTube, I listen to both music. I listen to when I exercise. I've always got it on. That's like at least an hour a day um, for music to exercise, and then I go jogging or do yoga. I put yoga music on, and then I listen to a lot of AI information on YouTube. I've been getting a lot of my AI information. I go back and forth between. I hear something on YouTube, these YouTube guys, and then I go to ChatGPT to find more information about it. Is this guy talking about? Does he know what he's talking about? And I just want to get more detailed
yeah,
information.
yeah.
What else do I listen to? Yeah, it's basically YouTube, Line, and ChatGPT. Those are the three big ones. But combined, they add up easily to 6 7 hours, 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And you're only 2 hours, really? 2 3 hours?
I mean that was today's one. I mean, well, yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't expect. I'm not. I mean, I've got wife and kid. We're always, and I'm on the land. So I mean, I'm on the land. I am listening to podcasts, but that might not be registering there because
That's not registering
that's not registering
because
because
yeah,
I'm
that's
on.
not.
If it's the screen's off, that must not be screen time because I'm listening. So there's hours. I'm listening to things when
I was
I'm
gonna say,
on
yeah,
that.
yeah. So you're probably listening to what, 2 3 hours at
I'm
least
not
on
like I
podcast.
don't have it on like where the screen. I think that's screen time where that light where the screen is actually lit up, which that's a
Well,
lot.
my screen is usually, well, not when I'm doing Chat GPT, but when I'm doing YouTube, I usually turn the screen off because I'm just listening. I'm listening to a podcast
Yeah,
or yeah, something like that. So I'm not like watching the screen, but
yeah, it's still registering.
I guess it's still
Yeah,
registering
no,
on
sure.
my
Well, maybe
machine.
that. Yeah, I don't know why.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter. I beat you anyway. At least I was able to beat you
right
in
on.
one thing:
Yeah,
screen time.
yeah. All right, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go because I'm gonna.
All right, CD. Good talking to you, man.
You too.
We'll have to do another podcast about, I forgot what. Oh, your book. Yeah. Okay. All right. Until we meet. Who did you go mute? I can't hear you. Okay. Yeah, you're mute. I can't hear you. That's okay. We're about to say goodbye. Nope, can't hear you.
Nope.
There, you came back. Nope. Nope, can't hear you. Cannot hear you.
What about now?
I can, but
What about
no,
now?
I just
Nope. Hello.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
What?
Something
Yeah,
happened.
okay, good.
I pushed this thing. Anyway, okay, yeah. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care.
All right. Later.
All right. Bye-bye.